Each year, Madison Station's fourth grade students create an original opera. Let me say that again in case you didn't hear it. The students create the opera. Please help me in welcoming this year's production manager of the JAGS, Just Another Great Show, opera company, Miss Norabeth Thomas.
Good evening. My name is Norabeth Thomas. I am the production manager of Madison Station Elementary School's 2013-14 Opera Company. Last September, 76 fourth graders formed the Just Another Great Show Opera Company. Each of these students accepted jobs as writers, photojournalists, public relation agents, makeup artists, costume designers, technicians, set designers, chorus composers, performers, stage managers, and production manager. Through hard work, determination, and teamwork, the group created and produced tonight's presentation. We would like to thank our facilitators for their hard work and dedication throughout this process. Our facilitators are Coach Crawford, Miss Flynn, Miss Gober, Miss Hammock, Miss Lyle, Miss Nance, Miss Templeton, Miss Twiner, Miss Walsh, and Mr. White. Jack's Opera Company proudly presents the Museum Rescue. We hope you enjoy our show. Are going on a field trip to the American Historical Museum. It is the oldest, most loved historical museum in all of Washington. It is particularly famous for its wax figures, donated by an anonymous benefactor nearly 30 years ago. The museum has been in the news lately due to several major developments. A new curator, Mr. Sam Hutchins, has been hired. His vision is to update the museum by renovating it and by changing its focus from a strictly historical museum to a more modern one, focused on cultures from around the world. Mr. Hutchins has plans to completely eliminate several of the existing exhibits, including the wax figures. and replace them with more interactive ones.
I just love field trips. We don't have to wear our regular uniforms. We get a chance to show our own personal style to the world. By the way, don't I look fabulous?
If by fabulous you mean like a puffball, then yeah.
What's wrong with wearing uniforms? Uniforms are very efficient. They're economical and they help everyone feel like an equal part of an organization. Well, I like to express my personal style through music. Speaking of music, I heard that the museum's new African exhibit opens with an exciting drum performance. I can't wait to hear it.
Who cares about that? I want to see the part of the exhibit that talks about South Africa's championship rugby games.
Not me. I want to see all the beautiful African fabrics. I love the bright colors and the cool designs that we don't usually get to see here in the U.S. Did you know that Africa is the third largest continent in the world?
And I saw on Animal Planet that there are thousands of exotic animals on the continent of Africa and its neighboring islands of
Madagascar.
All right, girls, stop bickering. We are all here to see the new exhibit. Now let's try to get along and be good representatives of St. Aloysius School. Did you know that the museum's famous wax figures were donated nearly 30 years ago by my grandfather?
Wow, Miss Phillips, that's really cool. How did your grandfather come to own the wax figures? And what made him want to donate them to this museum?
Well, that's an interesting story. My dad came to D.C. in 1964 to start his own business. Soon after arriving here, he met my mom. And at the time, her dad, my grandfather, owned a souvenir shop. These wax figures were a permanent fixture in the front windows of the shop. Everyone in town knew about Phillips' souvenir shop with the wax figures in the window. People would bring their kids by and take pictures with them. I guess it was like a community landmark. So in 1981, when my grandfather sold the store, he felt it was only right to donate them to the local museum. That way the community could enjoy them for years to come.
Wow, that was really generous of him. Can we go see the wax figures now?
All in good time, all in good time. Because first, we're going to see a live African drumming performance right here in front of the museum. It should be very exciting entertainment.
Did you know that African drums weren't always used for entertainment? They were also used when tribes needed to communicate across long distances. Each tribe had its own unique sound.
Oh, I can't wait, Miss Phillips. When is it going to start?
Look, it's starting right now.
Miss Phillips of St. Aloysius All-Girls School, please report to the front desk for a moment. I repeat, Miss Grace Phillips, please report to the front desk.
I wonder why they need me at the front desk. Perhaps just to sign a form or something. Okay, girls, wax figures are in the room straight ahead. Please walk quietly to that room and wait for me there. I'll be right back.
It looks dark up ahead. Maybe I should take the lead.
Oh, it's so messy and dirty in here. Note to self, don't sit down anywhere.
What happened in here? My dad made us keep the barn cleaner than this.
I hope all this dust doesn't aggravate my allergies. I shouldn't have left my inhaler on the bus.
Man, the cookies are terrible too.
Hey, they're the wax figures that Miss Phillips was talking about. Look, it's Albert Einstein, my hero. Who's Albert Einstein? Only the most well-respected scientist of the 20th century and the creator of the theory of relativity, E=mc². Oh no, Einstein is missing his mc². Who cares about science? Look, it's Betsy Ross. She was an amazing seamstress. She was the designer of the first American flag. Why? She's the ultimate famous designer.
I see her flag, but where's her needle and thread? Holy hell! It's the king!
The king of what?
The king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. He's the reason I love music so much. I used to listen to his albums when I was little with my grandma. Wait a minute! Elvis is missing something. I know! He usually wears famous sunglasses.
What do they look like?
Well, as a matter of fact, they look just like these. My grandma bought these for me last Christmas from ElvisImpersonators.com. And you want to know something funny? Yeah. My grandma has a pair just like them. She gets a lot of attention at the grocery store. Do y'all know who this is? This is Annie Oakley. Well, that was her stage name anyways. She was actually born Phoebe Ann Moses in 1860. She was an awesome sharpshooter, truly one of a kind.
What's a sharpshooter?
Well, you know, a marksman. She was an entertainer of sorts.
Oh, like in Hollywood.
No, more like in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. She was a good shot, you know, like with a gun. While I ran, she could spin a car edge on, put several more holes in it before it even hit the ground. I almost missed who it was at first because her outfit's incomplete. She usually wore a leather vest. Kind of like the one I got on. And who is this last one?
I think her name's Amelia Earhart. My dad's a pilot and he collects all kinds of aviation stuff. He has a book about her on the coffee table in his office. I asked him about her one day, and he says that she was the first female pilot to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. What's missing from her outfit?
With all the pictures of her book, she's always wearing her scarf.
You know, I didn't expect to find the wax figures in this room so run down. I wonder what happened.
Please help us.
Did you guys hear that?
Hear what? Don't be a scaredy cat. It was probably just the wind.
We need you. Okay, now I know you heard that, right?
Darn tootin', I heard that!
There must be a logical explanation. Let's figure out where the noise is coming from.
Hope we rock and roll again.
I will, I'm coming, Elvis!
Thank you very much.
That is really weird.
Don't give up with us. We still have a story to tell.
I can't believe I'm saying this, and I know it defies all logic and reason whatsoever. But I think the noise is coming from the wax figures. They seem to need our help.
Yes, please help us.
But what can we do to help?
Yeah, we're just kids.
Wait, guys. I think I hear something.
Yeah, I think I hear it too. I think it's coming from over there.
Miss Phillips, I understand that these wax figures have a deep meaning to you and your family. However, they are scheduled to be decommissioned because they are currently in the state of disrepair. There are missing pieces and are in a desperate need of a good cleaner. However, we do not have the budget nor the time needed to restore them.
With all due respect, Mr. Hutchins, these wax figures have been a part of this community for 50 years. Have you considered a fundraiser to help raise the money needed to cover the repairs? Or what about asking local businesses to donate their services? Isn't there something we can do to save my grandfather's wax figures?
I'm sorry, Miss Phillips, but I've made my decision.
So you know that he's planning to get rid of the wax figures?
Yes, ma'am. I told them that it was very rude to eavesdrop and that they should never, ever do it again. Oh, who am I kidding? This is just horrible. He can't take away your family's wax figures. He just can't.
Oh, it's okay, honey. Really. I hadn't planned for you guys to get mixed up in all of this.
Well, technically, you did. These fellers back here did.
Whatever do you mean?
Maybe you should sit there. Well, and there's
Chillax! Marcy, bring it down for us.
Well, while we were observing the wax figures, something utterly illogical happened. The wax figures started talking to us.
What are you talking about? Oh, like they inspired you? Well, that's great. They aren't part of historical figures.
No, they spoke to us. Like with their voices. They were asking for our help.
Yes, they told us that they still have a story to tell.
And after overhearing your talk with Mr. Hutchins and talking with these here wax figures, I think we're supposed to help save them. I think they want to stay in the museum.
Yeah, let's save them.
But what can we do? We're just kids. Well, we could start with a good cleaning. This place is covered in dust.
And Miss Phillips, as we were observing the wax figures, we figured out that each one of them is missing a super important piece to their costume. They really have to bring their A game if they want Mr. Hutchins to let them stay in the museum. Girls, I think it's wonderful that you all want to work together to help restore this exhibit. As you know, the wax figures have been very important to my family for many years.
But how do we convince Mr. Hutchins to let us help?
I have an idea. My dad's a reporter for the Washington Gazette. calling Mr. Hutchins for an interview. A long interview about upcoming changes at the museum. Then, while he's gone, we can work together to
Clean up this mess. I think that just might work. Girls, I'm so proud of you. Maybe if we restore this room to its full potential, we can change Mr. Hutchins' mind.
I simply used the resources I had with me. My trusty notepad and pencil, and the scissors and my Swiss Army knife.
That's very resourceful.
Oh, and I also used a little bit of glue from the office supply closet. And Katie, I love the way your sunglasses look on Elvis. It was very generous of you to donate them to complete his look.
And Brittany, I love the needle and thread you added to Betsy Ross. It makes her look like she just finished sewing the first American flag.
Thank you. And Alex, I just love the scarf that you used to complete Miss Earhart's costume. I wish that I had one just like it.
I want to buy you. Isn't your birthday coming up soon?
Girls, it warms my heart to see you working together like this.
What in the world are you guys doing here?
Well, Mr. Hutchins, we hoped if we tried to update this room and make it look more presentable, you might agree to let the wax figures stay as part of the museum. Don't you realize that they're not just an important part of the history of America, but also an important part of the history of this museum? You can't just throw them out.
Don't throw them out!
What do you think, Mr. Hutchins? It does look really much nicer. We've cleaned, replaced missing pieces, and the girls worked so hard.
Well, it does look really nice. And you do have a point about the wax figures being a part of the history of the museum. And I don't have specific plans yet for this room. Okay, the wax figure room already made.
My grandpa would be so proud of us, and I am so proud of you. You were brave to take on such a big project. Way to go, girls.
Well, Miss Phillips, I think we saw ourselves in these wax figures. Like us, they're each different, but each contributed something very important to history. And that's when we realized something. If we could put aside our differences and believe in a common cause, we could make our own mark on history.
We stood up for what we believed in.
And we worked together to make it happen.
We never backed down. We never gave up.
And just like